out the portion that is TID related and non-TID related. The non-TID related portion of that is 27 million and change, and the TID related portion is 22 million and change. And so the reason that we've got these broken out separately is because in your debt policy, you had made a distinction. You said, okay, we're going to allow, this was at the time this policy was set, we're going to allow up to 1.25% of our total debt capacity to be used for non-TID purposes, and we're going to allow 1% to be used for TID purposes. Well, we're beyond that, obviously. And the total target at the time was 2.25% between the, so the 1.25 plus the 1 is 2.25.
I might mention too that another reason we break it out is when you are going to Moody's, they want to see what it is broken out, and then they want to see what the risks are in both the TID and the TID stuff too.
And that's right. And the important thing that we like to emphasize for Moody's on that point is that the TID-related debt is self-supporting.
Right.
Because of the fact is that you've got a
As long as you can show that you've got strong TID.
we got a track record. We got a track record. So we're able to demonstrate that that TID does support itself, and that's an important consideration.
One thing I noticed was our non-TID debt service goes up more than we had predicted last year, almost by a whole percent year after year. And so is that the reason, is that one of the reasons which we took the TID debt service level and any new issue is to zero? Because we had a whole column of how much we're going to issue year after year, and now it's all zeroed. Is it to balance that out? Because our projects, the debt service we're going to be incurring for capital projects is almost, not, I don't want to say doubling, but it's increasing
Yes.
faster than we had thought.
Yes.
So, okay.
Yes.
So we're just not going to build our capacity further than
We have no further direction on future TID debt utilization, so we're not reflecting that now.
Yeah, but that's what's helping balance our total debt and bringing it down.
It is.
Otherwise, we'd be increasing significantly.
Correct.
And Mike, I got a question. You may have answered this before when we were at the other chart, but when I'm looking at the EV growth rate, you know, obviously the 4.29 is an actual number for this year, right? The 4.29%.
Mm-hmm.
But then the other ones, why isn't it all the same number going down? Why isn't it just?
It's because we're using a constant factor of 50% of the actual dollar amount, the average dollar amount of increase. So when you apply a constant factor going forward, it results in a reduced percentage mathematically each year going forward. So,
Okay, so you're going forward at one point,
we're going forward at a constant dollar amount of $21 million.
oh, a constant dollar amount.
Yeah. And so I've
So,
run a calculation here to show
okay,
that for the TID-in
all right.
numbers, and I'll pass
So it's a
the
constant
other
dollar,
direction. The other direction.
which is one way of doing it, I guess.
The way that we've been doing it.
I understand.
Again, that's another one of those considerations that you may want to have as test and try to get
But
alternatives.
it's all kind of a crapshoot anyways.
Well, it is, and then you get past 4 years out.
Why do you use a different methodology for the TID in and TID out?
It's the same.
I
It's just,
thought you said this one was 50% of historical TID out, but here you're increasing by a set $21 million a year.
we're using, in the other chart, we're using the same methodology. If I didn't make that clear, I did a disservice. We're using 19 million, which is 50% of the
TID out.
historic average TID out.
And then
Oh,
21
it
million
works
is
out to
dead
the
end.
same, it works out to this, okay.
So this was the other chart.
Okay.
And just to clarify too, the numbers to 20, so the numbers in this report of future debt issuance are only to 2027.
That's right.
So these numbers assume from 2028 to 2055, and I understand you put them in there because the debt service extends beyond 2027. But in terms of percentages or
Yeah.
tax rates, it's a little misleading because we are most likely, the village, maybe not us seven, but most likely the village will be issuing some sort of debt in those
No,
years.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, I would put like a line or, something because it's,
That's a good point, we'll do that. Everybody understand the point here?
Yeah, it's not capturing future unknown projects.
It doesn't capture those, but we do have a column that says like 2026 to 30-something. That doesn't capture those, it captures that, is right? No?
I don't believe so. Those are just kind of some placeholders for staff, just kind of look forward.
We'll make it clear what
I think that can be done with a good footnote.
Yeah, well, and I think the line idea is a good idea.
Or we could put in the costs that are actually in those columns. Because there's some things like manhole projects, like road, we went down 100,000, we went down from 750, whatever it was. There is some projection going on.
We can certainly put some of that in, we can also use a placeholder for something. Put there, something we'd like to see.
The problem is when you're doing that off that distance, then there's just so many other things that could be in there too. This gets difficult.
It does. The numbers are significantly less than what we do today. They're almost at least half or less. So it would no doubt be more if it fluctuates. So just by putting in that base level of here's the things we know we have to do, and of course we're going to add. But it won't be the opposite. It would be we're going to cut those costs. We won't increase them.
Our experience tells us that what generally happens when we get closer to reality is that the numbers start to get filled in and get larger.
Because if you look what's in that column, it's not a lot, it's the basics. So, but it'd still be a starting point to say, even with these basics, here's where debt, how long it would take to retire our debt.
So that, I think that the takeaway here in part is that this is a dynamic situation that really deserves to be revisited like you're doing, of course, right now. But having your policy eventually adjusted to comport with where you are and where you project to be, I think would be in your interest.
Yeah. It just says we should be doing this every year, so we, we feel probably more confident for 10 years out than we do for 20 years out. But for every year, you just gotta do it again. We know what better is happening 10 years out every year.
Right. I can tell you that the level of detail to which you're going here is a level that is exceeding, and you're exceeding most of your contemporaries by, so you should be congratulated for the diligence that you're doing with this. I think it's commendable. I think it serves you well, and I think it's noticed by the rating folks that you're doing. So I would encourage you to continue doing that. So I have nothing really more formal to add, but I'm happy to answer more questions. And of course, the questions that have come up here we'll get answers to, and we'll make the adjustments to the sheets that were suggested so that in the final publication it's going to look the way you want it to. I would also encourage that as you move forward with your policy deliberations, particularly as it relates to the policy changes, you'd be happy to, as we have in the past, show you the what-if scenarios. You want to see some of the different scenarios that would be difficult to produce for you.
Just, if we go to page, the policy statements are starting on page 38. Just a recommendation from you, Mike, on which ones we might want to be looking at.
Well,
Just give them so I can put a circle around them here.
all of those three.
Well, I do, I really like the way that you've done, you've been very good shepherds of your fund balance policy. I like that policy. I think it's going to serve you well. You certainly ought to review it, but I certainly wouldn't recommend relaxing it significantly from where you are today. If you want to stay in the same rating categories that you're in. And the thoughtful way you go about commenting about how you want to use your fund balance in the event that you do use it, I think is also very helpful and instructive. We talked about on page 39, revisiting the growth assumptions here, and so you'll want to give us direction on how much more aggressive you're comfortable being.
Which ones now are you speaking
I'm
of?
talking about 2A.
Yeah,
2A. That's the growth projection of your equalized value. So what I'm saying there is that we need to get your sense of how much more aggressive you want us to be in utilizing the 50% methodology that we
and if we get more aggressive, we're being less conservative then.
less conservative.
Mike, can I ask you, you mentioned that you had, or you did, based on what you've been seeing as our historic trend now that we're at a recession, since you have much more of the numbers.
I would be not uncomfortable with 2%.
I was going to say, you said 2%, so,
But I mean, if you start pushing beyond that, then I get nervous.
and 2%, is that like 75%? What does that represent?
Would just be 2%.
2%.
Simple.
An amount
Straightforward.
that equals 2% now.
In other words, each year you would increase EV by 2% on the projection, on the TID out and the TID in.
Yeah, I wouldn't go beyond
And right now, we're more in the range of 1.2%
that.
using.
1.3, 1.25. But that's declining
Right,
because of that, because we're using a fixed dollar.
right. I mean, another way to do it would be to not use the fixed dollar amount methodology too,
And
and just go to
I think
a
that
1.5%
before you make a
or
decision,
something.
before you make a decision on this, other than just pick a methodology out here, I would rather have you see what the effect is on your, given your plan, where you will be with your plan. And I would kind of work with the plan
Sure.
and then kind of balance it within the context of what you think you need to do. And either one will give or the other will give in terms of the policy, or you may tighten up your plan if you're not comfortable going beyond a certain level. But you'd need to know where you are with this.
And that's something you can do for us?
Yeah, that's easily done.
And then that $300,000 value for the home, it might be that we were too high before. So, as
Well, yeah.
opposed to saying, that's where it is now, we should be increasing it.
The real-
Maybe we were too high before, and
Your assessor should be able to identify where in fact the reality is right now.
that's a difficult thing from the respect that you've got different types of properties. You've got, shouldn't just base it on single residence type properties. Because we have a village that's over 50% rental on the households, which indicates that we don't have
Yes.
With the rent
a lot of we probably don't have 50% of single residence properties in the village. Okay. But that's an item of discussion.
Item 2B, I think obviously needs to be revisited. That was the $1.35 per thousand
What do we at?
target.
What did we say we were at?
Well, you saw on the blue column on page 44.
Oh, okay. Right, so we don't go down to 1.3 until 2028, if you don't incur more than you plan to.
Which is the year after we,
2038, right?
so last year borrowing. I think that number will probably have to rise if you're going to meet your objectives here. The item, let's see,
And that's going to take a lot of discussion because, we don't want
right,
a number that's so high that we become complacent with it.
correct. That's probably one of your toughest decisions.
Right.
What was it?
Item 3C is, I think, still a good policy to keep in there, and that, the intent of that was to evaluate where you were with your operating expenses and staffing in conjunction with the overall budget, and basically staging your addition of staff and capital so as to avoid any roller coaster effect on your tax rate.
Mark, I didn't see anything in general fund, so page 38, about how we can use general fund balance. Can't we use that for debt service payment? We can use it to level debt service, right?
Well, since we only issue debt service for capital, that would be equivalent. Now, I've got notes that would explicitly highlight debt service as well, but debt service is for capital funding.
Great.
So that would be under 1B.
Unreserved fund balance, isn't this the general fund balance, or is this something where we take it and we use it to stabilize our debt payments?
No.
Yeah,
This is the fund, right?
Well, generally, you're not going to, you're going to want to, if you're going to have if you've got a spike in your debt service, you've got problems with an unusual spike